He's the third Knicks head coach to win the award and first since 1993, joining Red Holzman and Pat Riley. Congratulations, Coach.
Thank you, Greg. It's an honor to obviously receive this award. I think this award reflects more of our group and our team and organization. Anytime someone gets recognized individually, it's usually a byproduct of the team winning and exceeding expectations. And I'd like to start off by thanking Jim Dolan for providing all the resources necessary for us to be successful. We also had great leadership from our front office in Leon Rose, William Wesley, and Scott Perry. But I also want to point out how important my coaching staff is to our organization. We have a great coaching staff, Johnny Bryant, Kenny Payne, Andy Greer, Darren Ehrman, Dice Yoshimoto, and Aaron Brooks, along with Mike Whitson for a good chunk of the season. I was very fortunate to have them as part of our staff. And most importantly, our players. We have a great group of players. They gave us everything they had. We're led by Julius Randle from the start of the season, but we have a great blend of players, guys like R.J. Barrett, Mitchell Robinson, Derrick Rose, Elfrid Payton, Alec Burks, Reggie Bullock, Nerlens Noel, and young guys like Obi Toppin and Emmanuel Quickly. But everyone from top to bottom did an incredible job in giving us everything they had. And it was a special season. So I want to thank everyone, but I also want everyone to recognize that it was a group effort, and certainly want to recognize our fans and how important they were to our success. We certainly appreciated all the support, and there's no better place than the Madison Square Garden. And with that, I'll open it up to questions.
All right, we'll now open it up for questions. As Coach mentioned, if you have one, please raise your hand. We'll call on you and bring you into the room. First question comes from Rebecca Harlow, MSG Network.
Hey, Coach, congratulations. It's just been spectacular to watch this team grow this season. It's so well deserved. I'm just so happy for you, for the Knicks, for everybody. But being a guy who grew up being a New York fan, having spent time in New York as an assistant and now coming back as a head coach to win it in your first season, can you kind of express what this means to you? It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, thank you, Rebecca. And it means a lot. And obviously, my parents, I grew up being a Knicks fan, and my dad was a St. Bonaventure alum, and Eddie Donovan was the coach at St. Bonaventure, and then he came to the Knicks. So in the 70s, I grew up watching Willis Reed and Walt Frazier, Dave DeBusschere, Red Holzman. Those were my heroes. And then having the opportunity to come back here in the 90s with Jeff Van Gundy and that staff, and Patrick Ewing and all the great players, Allen Houston, Larry Johnson, Oak, all those guys. I know what this team means to the city. So it's very meaningful. And to also have the group that we had this year, and just the way they played and they sacrificed and they played for each other. It was special. Every day you look forward to seeing these guys. They gave you everything they had. And whenever we fell short, the next day come right in, and great determination and a willingness to succeed. And that's what made the group special.
Our next question comes from Casey Johnson, NBC Sports Chicago.
Hey Tom, how are you the same as a coach from 10 years ago when you first won this award, and how are you different?
Well, I think you learn from all your experiences. I think one, I'm older, so that's probably the biggest change. But and that group was special, and obviously having Derek as a MVP at 22 years old, and then to have him here along with Taj makes it even more special. In case you were around Derek when he was that MVP, and he was always a team first guy, and had great humility. And I thought he brought a lot of those leadership qualities to our team, particularly where we have such a young team that had not had a lot of playoff experience. And he and Taj were terrific. And we had a great group of veterans, guys like Reggie Bullock and Alec Burks and Elfrid Payton, Nerlens Noel. And that really helped us a lot. It helped our young guys. Julius, you couldn't ask for anything more for the type of season that he had. And he's still a young guy. And then R.J. Barrett made great strides. And I also don't want to overlook Mitch. Mitchell Robinson was terrific prior to getting injured, and obviously we missed him down the stretch. But the core is there, and we know, and we have the pain of losing in the first round. We have to make that drive us and motivate us all summer long so we can get better, and we know that's an important step for us.
Sandro Gasparo, Knicks Digital.
Hey, Coach. Congratulations on the honor. You're now the third Knicks head coach to win this award. How does it feel to be part of that special history?
Well, like I said, anytime an individual wins something, it's more a byproduct of the team, and I know that's the case here. But to be in the company of Red Holzman, is a guy that I followed, and in terms of Pat Riley, I don't know if there's anyone better. He's those two guys, that's special company, and I know what those guys meant to the Knicks organization, and so I'm proud of what they did, and I'm really proud of what our team did this year.
Ian Begley, SNY.
Tom, congratulations. You're the first head coach to win the award twice in his first year coaching those two franchises. Just wondering, do you see any similarities between the way you turned Chicago around year one and the way you turned New York around year one?
I think each job is different, and you go in with an open mind. You know what the challenges are going in. In Chicago's very proud franchise, in similar to New York. New York, obviously having been here before in the '90s and knowing what it means to be with the Knicks, and I think I look at the career that I've had, and to have the opportunity to coach in New York, to coach in Chicago, to coach in Boston, to coach in Houston. I realize I've been very, very fortunate. I've been around a lot of great players, a lot of great coaches, and I've stolen from everybody, and I had good fortune to be part of Team USA as well, with Coach K and Jerry Colangelo. So, it's each situation you learn from, and you try to move it forward and take what you learned and see if you can use it in the next job. It's been, and again, the biggest thing I think is the group of players that you have and their willingness to sacrifice and play as a team and play for each other. And that's what this group did all year.
Steve Popper, Newsday.
Hey, Tom, congratulations on the award. I'm sure you heard, same as everybody, the criticisms of coaches like you, hard-nosed guys that push guys. You got a team this year that, like you said, bought in and guys that worked at it every day. Is that a product of you changing or getting the right group of players who want to be held accountable?
Each job is different. Yeah, and I don't think you ever want to stay the same. So you learn from each situation. But the things that go into winning, I think that stays the same. And then maybe how you deliver that message might change. You have to realize as time goes on, you're getting older and the players are getting younger. So you have to make sure there's a connection there. So I think that's important. That's something that I think I benefited from being around Coach K and watching him adapt in the way he connected and the efforts that he made. So, like I said, I've been fortunate to be around a lot of great coaches. And when I look at Doc Rivers, a Jeff Van Gundy, a Bill Musselman, a Jerry Tarkanian, a Don Chaney, I realized that my first time around with the Knicks on that staff, it was incredible. And you learn from all the coaches, Ron Adams and Brendan Malone, but the coaching staff in New York, Jeff was the head coach, and he had been under, a number of great coaches, including Riley and Don Nelson and John McLeod, Rick Pitino, and Brendan Malone had been under, Hubie Brown and Chuck Daly, and we had Jeff Knicks, who had been under Digger Phelps. It felt like you were going to the best clinic in the world each and every day. So I learned a ton from that staff. And then all the big games that you get in, you're learning from the opposing coaches, the opposing players. You can't help but learn. So I know I've been very fortunate.
Steph Bondi, Daily News.
Hey, Tom, congratulations on the award.
Thank you.
When looking at this roster before the season started and looking where you guys finished up, whether it was the top-rated defense, the vastly improved three-point shooting, what surprised you the most about what you guys were able to accomplish?
Going into the season, we had some goals that we wanted to set for the team. And one was to win at home, to establish home court, to build championship caliber habits each and every day. And for the most part, we didn't know how good we would be, but we felt once we got around the players and we saw how committed they were to playing as a group and sacrificing for each other, we felt we had a chance. And then you try to analyze, okay, what are the strengths of the club and what are our weaknesses? And let's try to play to those strengths and let's try to cover up our weaknesses. Now, the commitment made by the players was special. Like they put a lot of extra time into shooting, and that was a big concern going into the season. Was how well would we be able to shoot the three? And guys put an incredible amount of extra work in, whether it was before practice, after practice, coming back at night, and that's what made these guys so special. It's even the days in which we fell short, the next day you look forward to seeing them because you knew the determination would be greater. And they were an enjoyable group to be around.
Mark Berman, New York Post.
Hey, Tom, congratulations.
Thank you, Mark.
Just how much does this take away maybe a little from the sting of the playoff loss, and how have the last few days been for you, since Wednesday night?
Yeah, and I want us to learn from each situation. So obviously proud of, the season that we had. The playoffs, you want to learn from it, and you want the pain of that losing to be the driving force of motivation for the summer. And so in the end, there's going to be 29 teams that fall short. And so what are we going to do with that? And that's what I love about our group. We're going to take a couple of weeks here where we can recharge, and then we're going to get back to work. And that's the exciting part. The next step is the challenge of how hard we're going to work this summer.
Tom Merriam, Sports Final Radio.
Congratulations, Coach. Did the restrictions of the pandemic make this your toughest year of coaching?
It was very different. I will say that. And the challenge was like, okay, how do we maximize our time? And the bubble, I think, helped us. It gave us time to learn about each other. And that's what I loved about Julius. The first time I called him, I asked him to come in, and he came in either the next day or the day after. It was right away. And I just wanted to spend time to get to know him. And he worked out. And once I saw the way he worked, I knew we had a chance. And so he had a monster season. I didn't know how well we would shoot the ball. I felt we could be pretty good defensively. But the commitment by our team to shoot and make plays for each other, I think that's what helped us move forward. And and as I said, that just being around these guys each and every day, and the organization, I think, from top to bottom, I know how prideful this organization is, and everyone was determined to get better.
All right. Well, congratulations again, Coach. We thank you for your time, and we'll speak to everybody soon.
Thank you.